Okay, so this is. Wait, did I disconnect?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So this is The Arms Race by me, Allan, and Sihan. Yes. Okay.
What is an arms race? An arms race is when two countries compete to have superiority over the other country, and they would end up building tons of highly dangerous weapons that could annihilate every being on Earth. How was the arms race dangerous? The arms race was dangerous because neither of the countries could defend against the other country's weapons, and both the USA and the USSR built tons of nuclear weapons. And if they got into a fight, they could basically destroy Earth.
Some features of the arms race were simple atomic bombs that dropped from fighter planes to nuclear warheads, ballistic missiles, and hydrogen bombs, and more. Both the US and the USSR progressed really rapidly. As long as the race continued, the more technology advanced. But the arms race was unbelievably expensive, involving hundreds of billions of dollars. In 1960, while the US's missile fleet was being developed, 60% of all US budget was for the military alone, which is huge amounts of money. The MX missile program by Ronald Reagan cost 20 billion to make alone. This money for both countries was not used for construction, social good, but for the military. And when did the arms race end? The arms race came to an end in 1991 along with the collapse of the Soviet Union, a year after the end of the Cold War in 1990. The exact date of when the Cold War officially ended was the 3rd of December in 1989, when Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev met with President George Bush aboard a Soviet ship.
Impact of the Cold War. The first H-bomb test in the Etnuk Atoll in the Marshall Islands vaporized just how fearsome the nuclear age could be. It created a 25 square fireball that vaporized an island, blew a huge hole in the ocean floor, and had the power to destroy half of Manhattan. The ever-present threat of nuclear annihilation had a great impact on American domestic life. People built bomb shelters in their backyards. They practiced attack drills in schools and other public places. The 1950s and 60s saw an epidemic of popular films that horrified with depictions of nuclear devastation and mutant creatures. In these and other ways, the Cold War was a constant presence in Americans' everyday lives. The impact of the Cold War can still be seen worldwide, roughly 75 years after its start. Many of the effects of the Cold War are so ingrained in the American experience that we just take them for granted. We learn to live with the threat of nuclear annihilation and ongoing conflicts. At the same time, we've benefited from the technological innovation sparked by NASA and other advances of the era. NASA had done more than land a man on the moon. In 2020, for example, NASA funded 23 research concepts with $7 million to further space technologies. Between 1976 and 2019, NASA created more than 2,000 inventions that later become products or services. These include kidney dialysis machines, CAT scanners, and even freeze-dried food. Another effect of the Cold War were worries about nuclear annihilation that led to the space race and the construction of the U.S. highway. Because both the US and USSR had nuclear weapons, other countries felt they needed to have nukes as well. The UK, France, Israel, Pakistan, China, India, and North Korea all eventually acquired nukes. Some of the current instabilities in the world's hotspot from Korean Peninsula to Afghanistan are rooted in the Cold War. To avoid nuclear annihilation, the two major superpowers conducted proxy wars in non-nuclear countries. As a result, they were on opposite sides of conflicts in Korea, Vietnam, Angola, and Afghanistan. U.S. support for the Afghanistan army indirectly supported transnational Islamic terrorism. That led to the direct attack of 9/11. Finally, the national highway system, started by President Dwight Eisenhower in 1956, led to increased suburbanization, meaning a population shift from urban areas into suburbs, and lower prices across the country. It allowed people to leave cities and move to suburbs. Regional shopping malls sprung up to serve them, and it led to the demise of intercity public transit because driving became so much easier. The system was originally part of the defense strategy to allow safe transport in case of a nuclear war or other military attacks. But the federal government initially allocated $25 billion to the states to build 41,000 miles of highway. In conclusion, the impact of the Cold War can still be seen every day and influence our lives.
And